Spawn Point, the show for gamers, by gamers. I'm Bajo.
I'm Rad.
I'm Goose.
And I am D.A.R.R.E.N.
Coming up on today's show, we try to build a space garden and cultivate life in Birthdays, the beginning.
Life finds a way. Plus, we paint the town red, yellow, blue and green into Blob on PC.
Also, I've got a story for you on what to do with your old gaming tech.
Ooh, spoiler, you do not throw it out in the bin.
We have to fight the war on waste.
Well, how about we get things moving with some of your patented gaming trivia, Darren?
Cycle up your brain cells, Spawnlings. It's time for D.A.R.R.E.N's Challenge! Today, I'm asking you this. Like in the game Puyo Puyo Tetris, what is the meaning of the word Puyo? Answer at the end of the show.
That actually means something?
I think it's Japanese.
I look forward to finding out at the end of the show, but first, we must get to our first review. Birthdays the Beginning is a game from the creator of the Harvest Moon series. The aim is to spark life and watch it grow.
The story begins with you reading a book, only to discover what appears to be a treasure map.
Then, a weird light beckons you, and you lose consciousness. When you awaken, you're greeted by a strange creature called Navi, and you are presented with a cube of land.
Navi requires you to birth life in this world before you can go back to your own. But when you do go back, everything has changed. But the story is only a small part of this game. From this point on, you're knee-deep in the primordial soup, trying to create life and watch it grow.
It's a neat idea, Bajo. I love gardening, so having a little terrarium-like ecosystem that I can mold and shape as I see fit is really cool.
Yeah, I like the idea too, but I have to say I struggled with this game in general right from the start. And then after I played for a while, in fact, I'm still struggling. Darren, did you just call me a noob?
Oh, not at all, Bajo.
Yeah.
You admitted that yourself.
Oh,
Let me explain how the game works. Birthdays is based around 3 core ideas for life: temperature, life form prosperity and extinction, and location, location, location. You have the power to lower and raise terrain, which affects the temperature and the conditions for life to exist. Certain creatures will birth when the setting is just right. Then they will mutate and evolve, allowing for new species to arrive and so on, until you have dinosaurs!
I love dinosaurs so much!
Oh, they're the best!
Oh, they're pretty good.
You have 2 main modes you'll be working in. A zoomed-in mode, which lets you raise and lower land, use items to change conditions, and capture new life. And a zoomed-out mode, which shows you the wider ecosystem to speed up time and watch life flourish. We played this on PC, but the controls weren't quite right. For example, it asked me to move the stick to move my character around, but I don't know about you, Bajo, my mouse doesn't have any sticks.
Yeah, the controls aren't very good, and they're not much better with a controller either. The fiddly nature of them is the biggest barrier to the fun. Raising and lowering land, opening menus, it's just not fun to do because the controls are hard to use.
There's a reason why games like Minecraft and SimCity are so successful. The building is fun. And with Birthdays, sadly, it is not.
The struggle was real, guys. The game looks so lively and adorable, but you actually just spend most of the time staring at birth rates and making minor adjustments, which I didn't enjoy very much. It just wasn't quite what I was expecting from the look of the game in trailers and screenshots.
Yeah, I mean, there were times where I did have my ecosystem thriving and flourishing, and that was somewhat satisfying. There were plants and trees. Oh, I was so excited when my first trees appeared. Rivers were flowing, sea creatures were swimming about and trying to make their way onto land for the first time. But then, every time I reached this point, something would go wrong and all my species would start dying off and becoming extinct. Yes, I heard that extinction warning noise a lot, you guys.
Me too. I just let things die off and figured that life would find a way. But it did not, and instead I ended up with a pretty barren world.
Affirmative. Life is a fragile thing, It doesn't take much to upset the balance.
I really wanted to get into this game, guys, but everything needed to be simpler.
Yeah, it's a really fantastic idea, but it just was not executed well.
Final thoughts?
Well, it's rare that a game stumps me like this, but I just don't get it, so I'm giving it 1 out of 5 rubber chickens.
I really loved Harvest Moon, and I like the idea here, but maybe it needs a sequel to get it right, so I'm giving it 1.5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Back to the drawing board.
Back to the primordial ooze!
From whence it came.
Whoa! Xbox One? No! You can't be gone! We had so many games to play together! It can't be over! You were so young!
Hey, Rad. Hey, what's wrong?
Xbox One is gone.
Oh, well, maybe we can fix it.
I spilled soup on him yesterday.
Oh, yeah, okay, he's definitely gone then. Well, you had a good run together at least.
You're right!
Whoa, what are you doing?
I'm putting Juan in the bin where he belongs now.
No, you can't put it in a bin. It's e-waste now.
E-waste?
Yeah, you know, electronic waste, which is any discarded device like a telephone, a TV, a computer, or even a game console.
That's a very detailed description, but if I can't put him in the bin, where am I supposed to put it?
Ah, well, e-waste must be recycled because... Rad, what are you doing?
I'm recycling!
No, e-waste can't be recycled in a regular recycle bin. It has to be e-recycled.
Goose, you can't just put an E in front of anything and make it a thing.
Oh, I disagree, Rad. E-recycling is a real thing. They've got whole factories dedicated...
Factories? Say no more. I'm gonna go give Xbox One the game over he deserves. E-waste is the fastest growing form of waste in the world. Last year, it was estimated that 121,000 tons of computers and televisions in Australia would reach the end of their life, and that 20 to 50 million tons of e-waste would be generated worldwide. That's about the same weight as 500 billion cheese toasties. That could feed Bajo for like 3 weeks. But the good thing about e-waste is it's almost all completely recyclable. But to recycle e-waste, you need a special plant. Not one of these plants, one of these. I've always wanted to go on a factory tour. E-recycling plants specialize in breaking down and separating all the components in e-waste to be reused or disposed of thoughtfully. Usually, this is so difficult, it has to be done by hand. I'm here with Tony, who's an e-recycling expert, and he's going to show us how it's done.
But before we begin, you really don't need all this gear. This is not a dangerous plant. We're just pulling things apart here. It's okay.
Safety first. So how is an e-recycling plant different to a regular one?
Well, with e-waste recycling plants, we actually get in computers and televisions, PCs, laptops, batteries, all these sort of items. But in a regular recycling plant, they deal with paper, cardboard, kitchen refuse, that sort of material. So we deal only electronic material.
So how much e-waste do you guys get, and are you seeing that amount increasing?
We see an increase every year of around 6 to 7% increase on 5,000 tonnes initially that we collect. So on every year's 5,000 tonnes, we see a 6% increase on that moving on to each year.
That's a lot.
That's quite a bit. Well, if you consider, in Australia, we import 140-odd thousand tonnes of technology a year into the country. And that's only PC or television-based material. 140,000 tonnes, and that's growing around about 10% a year, every year.
So if you're getting an increase of 10% in imports every year, you'd hope you'd see that much in recycling too.
You would hope, but that 6% that I base it on is because not everybody recycles. They still hold things in their desk drawers. They've got phones in there and they don't recycle all the time. They hold on to them because they think, I've spent so much money on this device, so they don't let things go easily.
So what happens to a device once it gets here? Like, how do you guys break it down?
Well, they've got a whole bunch of screwdrivers and drills and pliers, and we pull things apart and we throw screws in the screw box and we throw a hard drive in the hard drive box and we throw the plastics in the plastic box, and it all gets separated. Because that way, we can recover the material in a more pure form. And so therefore, it can be reconverted back into original form.
Why is it so important to e-recycle?
The valuable materials that are contained in products that we receive here, like minerals, rare earths, all sorts of materials that we have to dig out of the ground to recover by obtaining materials from people who decide to dispose of the material in a proper and regulated way, then we're actually saving a lot of money and a lot of the environment by not having to dig up holes in the ground.
So can you help me recycle my console?
I certainly can. Pass it to me. We'll just go over there to where the dismantlers are and we'll have a go at it now. This is an Xbox for you to dismantle. We're going to pull this apart and separate all the bits and pieces and show the audience what we've got in there. Yeah?
His name is Xbox One. It's funny how even though I know that it's going to be broken apart into all its pieces, a part of me is still like, oh no, when like the plastic bits break.
I know, but one day this is all going to end up in a place where there's a lot of fire and it's all going to get melted down again.
And we've got our DVD drive and a big fan for all the air. And then you can see all the ports, the back of all the ports here too.
There's your front panel circuit board. So there's some more steel.
Oh, and you can see the coolant paste.
That's right. That's your hard drive.
Oh,
Remember this?
yeah.
That's with the cover taken off. And then you can see what's inside. But the majority of the hard drive is the aluminium case, which is what the recyclers are really after. There's neodymium special magnets in here, which we can also recover, but that takes a little time.
Now remember, spawnlings, do not try this at home. These guys are experts, and breaking apart your own console can be really dangerous, and you'll definitely void your warranty.
What will we do now? Will we take these to where they belong?
Yeah, let's do it.
The final destination.
Let's do it.
Okay. So this is where we're going to put the steel. Now,
Goodbye. Goodbye, Xbox One. You were a great friend, a great console, and we had great times together. But now it's time for you to move on and become something new. So if you've got old tech that you'd like to e-recycle, hit the website of your local council to find an e-waste drop-off point near you. Or you can even arrange to have it picked up from your house.
And if you've got something that still works that you want to dispose of, think about trading it in, selling it online, or donating it to someone so they can get just as much enjoyment out of it as you did. Here, Goose, let me help you e-recycle that.
What are you doing?
No! Red! That's not recycling!
You're right, it's e-recycling!
Hey, Bajo, do you know what time it is?
Why, Rad, I do believe it is Ask Spawn Point time.
No, it's Ask Spawn Point time.
That's what I said.
That's right. And first up, we have this one from Bob Spaghetti, who's in Spaghetti Town, Queensland.
Are you even listening to me, Rad?
I spaghetti. Hey Gigi, I was just wondering if there is any good racing games where you get to make your own racing tracks for Xbox One. Thanks, love, from Bob Spaghetti.
Well, Bob Spaghetti, I regret to tell you that there's only one I can think of, which is Trackmania Turbo. It lets you build all kinds of crazy roller coaster style tracks. It is a great game though, but crazy fast and quite difficult. Can you think of any others, Rad?
Well, you could create custom races in Forza Horizon 3, but you can't design the layout of the track, so it's probably not what you're after.
Yeah, I guess you could also build your own tracks in Trials Fusion, but that's not technically a racing game. You can race in it, but it's really about falling off your bike a lot and trying not to throw your controller.
Let's move on to this one from King of Cheesy Sandwiches, who is in Perth, Western Australia. Will I die in survival mode when I jump off a cliff and land in a 1-block deep water source with blocks around the water? Rad, do these, please. Whee! Oh! Ah! Well, your cheesy highness. I honestly don't know, but using a good bit of old-fashioned science, I'm sure we can come up with an experiment to find out.
Good thinking, Rad. Okay, let me just load up the Spawn Point world here. Okay, all right, we're in the world. Now we just need to find a good cliff.
Good cliff. Oh, how about we jump off the giant D.A.R.R.E.N?
Oh, good thinking, Rad. That will definitely be high enough. Let me just dig a 1-block deep hole here and fill it with water. All right, now let's get to the top and try to jump off D.A.R.R.E.N and see how it goes.
Whoa, that is a long way down. It's going to be really hard to hit such a small spot from all the way up here.
She'll be right, Rad. I'm an expert video game player. Okay, here we go. Well, I obviously hit the blocks that time and not the water.
Well, at least you know, I guess. What we need is some kind of foolproof way to make sure that you hit that exact block.
Yeah, no. Oh, I know. How about I build a tower right next to the hole and jump from that?
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, thanks
Go
very
on.
much. Yeah, I thought about it all by myself.
Oh, good job.
Thanks
good
very
job.
much. Okay, we're building. There we go. Okay, I think that should do it, Rad. Now we should know for sure if it's a survivable drop. Okay, away we go. Yes, we did it. We lived. We're alive. We survived.
Well, there you go. You cheesy sandwich, Highness. You can survive a normally lethal fall by landing in just one block of water. Although if you're planning on using that as a means to get down from somewhere quickly, it's pretty risky.
Yeah.
But you know, you gotta risk it for the biscuit.
You gotta risk it for the biscuit. I think we scienced the pants on that one, Rad.
Scienced the biscuit pants. But let's move on now, and we've got this one, which is a video question from Jack.
Now this is a question for Bajo. Did you ever play the Sega Dreamcast? And what was your favourite game on it? Thanks, Jack out.
Oh, thanks for your question, Jack. Sorry to say, but no, I never did play a Sega Dreamcast.
Oh, but I thought you were a big Sega fanboy. Like, what happened there?
Oh, I was Rad big time. But I loved my Sega Mega Drive and my Master System and my Master System 2 and also my Game Gear. But when the Dreamcast came out, I was deep into PC gaming and I just couldn't afford extra consoles. So I guess I can't really tell you what my favorite Dreamcast game would be either, Jack.
But surely you would have played a Dreamcast game that's like been re-released or was on PC at the time or something like that.
Oh, you know, I have played remasters or remakes of Sega Rally, and that was a lot of fun. I guess that might be my favorite. Oh, I have definitely played Rez, and Rez was on the Dreamcast, so that's definitely my favorite, I guess, by default. And it's not a bad game either.
Well, there you go, Jack. But on that note, we're out of time for this week. And as always, if you'd like to ask us a question, you can go here and send it in either text or video form.
How good are the videos, though?
Oh, videos are awesome, Bajo. Oh, speaking of videos, we've put together our own video to show you how to send a video into us. Roll the tape, Lee.
Hi there, gamers. Trying to record a video for Ask Spawn Point? Well, that's swell. But wait a second. Oh dear, you're doing it all wrong. That's okay though. Here's just a few simple tips to take you from B-movie to blockbuster. First things first, pre-production. No great film starts shooting without a script, so why not write out your question and make sure you know what you want to say. What's that? You've got your lines memorized already? Well, that's the way, gamers. Next up, find a location. A nice setting is a bonus, but good lighting makes all the difference, so find somewhere where you can really shine. No, that's a cupboard, Bajo. Ah, there you go. Much better. Now let's set up your camera. No, not portrait, landscape. That's right. You don't see tall screen TVs, do you? So shoot in widescreen. Okay, it's time to hit record and make some magic. Come on, gamers, speak up. If we can't hear you, how can we answer you? There, that's better. Have as many takes as you like until you get it just right. And cut! It's a masterpiece. But before you send it in, make sure you watch it back and see if you're happy with it. While you're at it, why not get an audience? Go grab your grown-ups and show them your work. You'll need them around for this next bit anyway. Yes, that's right. You'll need to ask them if it's okay for you to send us your video. If you don't check with them, we can't use your video. There! Now you're done. All that's left is to go to our website. Go here and submit it. Before you know it, you'll be the next big thing on the television. Good work, gamers.
Rad, did you ever play the wonderful Wii exclusive Wagglefest that was developed right here down under, Blob?
I did not.
Neither did I, but it's just been released on PC, so what better excuse to dive in and get blobby?
Blob is a unique platformer that was originally released in 2008 on the then very new Nintendo Wii. The story takes place in Chroma City, a happy, colourful place inhabited by the just as colourful Radiants, bright, cheerful folk without a care in the world.
That is, until the dastardly Inked Corporation, led by Comrade Black, invades. Draining the world of all colour and rounding up its citizens, transforming them into the monotone Gradians. Ooh.
Enter Blob, who bursts onto the scene and immediately joins up with the Resistance, who are known as the Colour Underground. This gang of ragtag characters are attempting to repaint the world back to its former multicoloured glory, and you are their finest weapon.
It's a very creative setup right from the start, and I have to say, the cutscenes and animation remain utterly superb. All the characters are just dripping with personality. In fact, I would say the villains are even more likable than the heroes.
Oh, totally, they're hilarious. And it's such a unique setting too. All the areas you visit are initially void of any colour, having been drained by the inkies and their cute little leech bots. By smashing these little guys, you absorb that coloured paint, which you can then use to splash all over the place.
And you'll need a fair amount of it if you want to progress. Once you paint enough of an area, a door will unlock to the next zone and eventually the exit. And to begin with, guys, I had heaps of fun mixing up new colours, making a mess of the place, adding cool styles, even trying to write my name with paint.
Voila! Magnifique.
I painted a self-portrait. What do you think?
It's very surrealist, Darren.
Exactly what I was going for. Along with sprucing up the place, you'll also need to complete a number of missions given to you by the underground crew. These range from splattering areas in one particular colour, destroying groups of enemies, and collecting enough specific colour energy to reclaim paintbot transmitters.
And it's nice to have these goals early on to help guide you about the world, avoiding the black ink and liberating the little gradients. But guys, I have to say that after only the first couple of areas, I realised it's just the same few missions over and over again. Just rinse and repeat. Or repaint.
Good one, Goose. Though I do have to agree, after a while it felt just like busy work, especially unlocking those gates. The challenges do get tougher as you progress, but this was often done by simply decreasing the time limit or making objects harder to find.
Once you do complete a level, you will earn a medal based on your stats, like how fast you completed it or how much of the world you managed to paint. And it's always nice to have a score to chase, but I never felt the need to go back and 100% these areas. I would rather watch paint dry.
One of the major differences in this updated version is the way you now control the Blob. The original game utilised all the Wii's unique motion controls, like flicking the Wiimote to jump or shaking it to spray paint all over the world. But as this is now on PC, the controls have been simplified to basic button presses on either a keyboard or a controller.
And while I never actually played the original, I couldn't help shake the feeling that it was those original controls that made this such a charmer back in the day, because without them, it's kind of just a bland platformer.
Yeah, and it's a real shame because there is a lot that Blob does right. It's got a killer groovy soundtrack that picks up pace as you paint more of the world. And no matter how long you play, that feeling of slowly bringing colour back into the world never stops feeling satisfying.
This is becoming a rather common problem with re-releases of old games like Blob. While their concepts may be timeless, when compared to more advanced, newer games, they don't always stack up.
Yeah, that's true, Darren, especially considering how many games are now experimenting with splashing paint and ink all over the place. But I guess it is still nice to see one of the early games that pioneered such an interesting method of gameplay, and I pushed on through the game for those great little cinematics. So I'm giving it 2.5 out of 5 rubber chickens. What about you, Rad?
Well, while the controls and platforming felt quite dated, the sheer style and wacky personality was charming enough for me, so I'm giving it 3 out of 5 rubber chickens.
That reminds me, I need to paint my place. Do you want to help me?
That reminds me, I'm a blob.
Good excuse.
Okay, Darren, we're ready to hear the answer to your challenge.
Affirmative. At the start of the show, I asked you this. Like in the game Puyo Puyo Tetris, what is the meaning of the word Puyo? And the answer is the sound of something soft and jellyish.
Oh, is that a direct translation, or...?
Negative. It is, in fact, a Japanese onomatopoeia. An onomatopoeia is a word that mimics the sound it refers to, like sizzle.
Or, quack.
Or boom!
Nog!
What?
Huh? Oh, that's not a sound. That's the name of one of the games we'll be reviewing next week.
Ooh, I love the look of the art in that game. Don't forget you can catch Spawn Point Scoop each Monday on the ABC Me app and iView, where I'll bring you all the latest in gaming news and, of course, new videos from us throughout the week.
So until then,
Be nice, have fun, and keep gaming.
gaming.
Bajo out.
Right out.
Goose out.
Darren out.